Hi, this is Rick. Now we're going to get started. So we downloaded IntelliJ, and now we're going to start actually programming in Java. The first thing we're going to do is start a new project, which I've done here, and I've already showed you how to do that. But now we're going to talk about what's really going on here. First of all, under Unit 1, which is where I'm keeping the files for this unit, I have a source folder, src. If I open that up, I have something called com.edu mobile, and that's where I'm keeping my projects. This is called a package, and a package holds the classes for a project. This package really should be called something like com.edu mobile.demo1_1 because that's the name of the file, but we're just kind of cheating right now. So we've got a package called com.edu mobile. Now we've got a class called main. We haven't talked about what a class is. We'll get to that very soon. And then inside that class, we have something called a method. And that method, very importantly, is called main underscore, or little m main. The class is big M main, and we have a method, which is really just a function in our code for this class called main. And it takes one argument and returns nothing. Again, we'll talk about methods and what this public and static and void mean very soon. But the thing to note here is that this method right now is doing nothing. It appears to be doing nothing. But what happens when we run this code? Well, when we run the code, and we can do that either here or up here if we want, but when we run the code, watch what happens. Under the hood, there's something going on, and it says process finished with exit code 0. Exit code 0 is a good thing. In Java and in other languages that use these exit codes, it tells the command prompt that everything worked. And everything did work. Something happened. So let's see if we can't make it end with a different exit code. Yes, there is another group of classes in another namespace in another, let's say, package, and the package is called system. And inside that package, we have someplace a method called exit. And that exit method takes an integer, and so we can make it exit with any code we want. And then, of course, we need the semicolon here. So now we'll save it, and we'll run it again. And what do we expect to happen? Good. Process finished with exit code 15 because we said 15. Now, usually we just leave system exit alone unless we want something to happen where the status of the program is given after it exits and maybe there was an error code. Leave it alone and it will return 0 when it comes out. All right, so let's do something really kind of useful. Also in system, there is a group of things that are grouped under a package named out, and in that there are some print functions, and we can see that there's a lot of other stuff here, but we're going to use the print line function, and we're just going to say, very typically for a first program in any programming language, we're just going to print out a string of characters, and we're just going to say something like, hello, Java, bang. And now if we save this, again, think about what we expect to happen. System out print line is going to print a line, and it's going to print the string that we give it as its argument. At least that's what we expect to happen here. So let's see if our expectation is met. We'll run it. And instead of saying first process finished with exit code 0, which we did expect, it also, you might have expected, printed out that string, hello Java. Now it printed it on its own line because we didn't use just print, we used the print line function. What happens if we take out that ln? Print is also a function of system out. So now if we save that, we'll see something a little bit different. Now, this string is being printed with a new line in front of it. And we noted before, if you were paying attention, that there was a new line after this one. So now let's look at print, which prints hello Java, new line process. The new line here is right here before the capital P. let's go ahead and put back the ln in the print line method, and we'll save that. And let's run it again, and we'll see a new line being printed both after the hello Java string and before the P in process finished. So there you go. A very simple introduction. What have we talked about? We have talked about a class called main, which starts with a capital M. We have also talked about the single method that's given to us in the class main, and it is called main. It takes an argument, and that argument is something, a bunch of strings. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then it returns void, which means it returns nothing. Thank you.